And welcome to tonight's PAVE Candidate Forum for the County Commissioner races for Districts 1 and 3. My name is Deborah Waterman, and I will be serving as your moderator this evening. Tonight's forum is brought to you by PAVE, the Pottawatomie County Advocates for Voter Education, a nonpartisan organization that has been serving and educating voters in our community for nearly 20 years through the volunteer work of dedicated local citizens. Our mission is to promote voter engagement and education by providing opportunities for the public to hear directly from candidates, learn about important issues, and encourage active participation in the election process. Forums like the one being held tonight, along with other community events, are part of that ongoing effort to help voters make informed decisions and get out to vote. We also want to remind everyone that May 22nd, that is tomorrow, is the deadline to register to vote ahead of the upcoming primary election on June 16th. If you are not yet registered, have recently moved, or need to update your voter information, please make plans to do so before the deadline. And PAVE is always open to adding to its volunteer team. If anyone is interested in supporting voter education efforts in our community, please speak to one of our volunteers following tonight's forum. Before we begin, if you're able, please stand for the Pledge of Allegiance. Attention, salute, pledge. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. You may be seated. Tonight's forum will feature candidates, again, from the County Commissioner Districts 1 and 3. Each candidate will have 2 minutes for an opening introduction, 1 minute to respond to each question, and 1 minute for a closing statement. We will go a little bit out of order by starting with District 3 because that is the larger of the two groups. For Ward 3, we will be talking to Del Curbs, Chad Votaw, Tanner Silas, and Angela Williams. Candidates will be asked to track their time using our signal system. The light will turn yellow when 30 seconds remain and red when time has expired. We respectfully ask candidates to conclude their remarks when the red light appears so we can allow time for additional questions throughout the evening. All audience-submitted questions are screened for duplicate topics and appropriate content. However, we will make every effort to preserve the original wording and intent of each submitted question as much as possible. And the order of response will alternate with each new question to ensure fairness throughout the forum. As a reminder, this is a forum, not a debate. The purpose is to give voters an opportunity to hear directly from the candidates about their experience, priorities, and approach to public service. Candidates should use their time to explain their own positions and qualifications rather than personally attacking another candidate. We appreciate all of the candidates for being here this evening and for their willingness to speak directly with voters. And based on the drawing of the straws, Del gets to go first, so we will dive right in with the questions. So let me see. I'm going to start with an easy one, I think, hopefully.
Deborah, you want us to go?
Oh, you're right, and I did that last time too. Thank you, Del, for being here. We don't need to talk about where my brain's been all week, so go right ahead, Del.
Well, first off, I appreciate that. I kind of got the look from Susan there for a second. But I appreciate PAVE for holding these forums. It's always a pleasure to come out and visit and talk. And I know getting volunteers is always a challenge. And so all the volunteers that support PAVE, that appreciate that. I've been 10 years as the state representative for Shawnee, and over those 10 years, we've seen our challenges in the state up and down. We have a lot of great things that are coming our way. I'd give you an example. We've got the airport stuff. We've got economic development. There's a lot of really cool stuff that's continued to come that way, which made my decision to step away from the state and come closer to home on the county, running for the county district seat. Our current commissioner, Abby Thompson, made the decision to run for the Senate seat, to take that step and move on up to the state level. And so that left the open seat, and I felt like it was, I wanted to continue serving the folks and doing some great things as we have stuff that's coming down, and just continue to work with that. And I look forward to all of the questions that are here tonight and just getting the questions answered. So with that, I'm good.
Okay, and make it this easy. You're next.
Yeah, I want to thank PAVE for giving me the invitation to be here and kind of speak my mind. This is all new for me, talking to a bunch of people. So if I get tongue-tied or something, please forgive me. But I like being with the people and meeting with people and things. I'm a oil field worker from a little town called Maud. I'm also a city council person down there. And, that's part of the reason, I got into politics is I started off in city council. I was stood up and made sure some rights or some wrongs were being righted. And that got me into that. And I like to, I got a strong work ethic. Like I said, I worked in the oil field almost 20 years. When it comes to standing up for what's right, I've always done it, no matter if I got to stand alone. But I see things going on, and I feel like there could be some changes being made, and I feel like I could lead those changes, and we'll just see how it goes, and I'm here to answer the questions, and we'll see what we can figure out. So thank you all for coming.
Thank you, Chad.
Yeah, thank you all also for putting this on. My name's Tanner Silas. I'm running for District 3. I've lived in District 3 my whole life. Went to school, graduated at Maud, and continued my education at Columbia Southern University, where I studied 2 years for occupational safety and health. Continued from there. I went to Oklahoma State University Tech through the LTAP program. I've got my Rhodes Scholar certificate through them. I met my wife in Maud. We've been married almost 16 years. Got 4 daughters. She's a school teacher at Maud. About myself, I've got 18 years of equipment operating experience, road building, bridge building, you name it, I've done it out there. I have led crews on underground electric crews, been a leader there. I've been on the volunteer fire department for 18 years. 5 of those years I was the chief. Me and my family, we attend Victory Family Church here in Shawnee, so we've been in this community our whole life, and look forward to answering any questions tonight that anybody has, and thank you.
Hi, I am Angela Williams, and I want to thank you guys for coming out on this lovely summer night with all of this warm weather. I also want to apologize for those who are here or who are listening, and I have knocked on your door and I have set off your dog alarms. I know how shocking and intense that can be, especially if you're holding a plate of food or a drink in your hand. But thank you for opening the door for me anyway. I am a wife, a mother of 5 in a blended family, and I'm a grandma. And I feel like we need to leave this world a little better than when we came, and we need to leave our community a little better than when we moved here or when we were raised here. My background is in the corporate world with about 5 years in education, in higher education. I was the one who stood at the door of the executives of multi-million-dollar companies and built a little black box that they would use to take out that door and make business decisions. And when you work for companies of that size, you better have a very strong box to make sure that they don't fail. I came to the county in 2021 as a county administrator, where I learned the administrative side and the governance side of this county. In 2023, I went to work as the County Commissioner Assistant of District 2, where I have learned the road side of County Commissioner. And with that, I think I'm getting a light.
All right, thank you. Okay, and this may seem a little redundant, but I think it'll help with what we just started with the intro, so we'll get a little bit more detailed, starting with Dell. What do you bring to the table in regards to the administrative role as a county commissioner?
I appreciate the question. Obviously, the 10 years that I served as a state representative, understanding governmental roles, the place for where the government should be and where they shouldn't be. Also, with being a small business owner, me and my wife, we understand real-world scenarios every single day when we have families that rely on our businesses to make a living. And so that's very important for us, not just for my wife and myself, but also for everybody that works for us. Working in the community with safe events for families. The bike night is actually going on this evening in the rain, so kind of an interesting mix-up with the weather. But, just being in tune and understanding how a lot of these things operate and how flow in the government should work.
Thank you, Del. Did you need me to answer or ask the question again?
Yes.
Okay. What do you bring to the table in regards to the administrative role as a county commissioner?
Well, being a small town city council person, we're a small town, but we have big city problems on a small town budget. And when it comes to that, like, I try to look out for taxpayer money and things. We got to be on a tight budget down there in Maude. And, being in government, you got to make tough decisions, and you got to almost take some hate on everything you do, because you can't do anything right. But for most people, But I got big shoulders, and it can always come back to me. I don't mind. Like I said, I'll stand up for what's right. And as far as the administrative stuff, like, I've been called uneducated, I've been called stupid, but I did get elected to be on my city council, and I got in the big majority of the vote. So I guess somebody's seen something special in me somewhere. So we'll see what we can do with this.
Thank you, Chad. Thank you, Tanner.
I think I've been a proven leader. Like I said, I'm a volunteer firefighter. I've been a chief of that. I've led crews as the lead foreman under high-stakes situations doing storms. So with my experience in the equipment side and then the leadership side, I think that's what I could bring to the table.
Okay. Thank you. Angela.
Could you repeat the
Sure
question?
can. What do you bring to the table in regards to the administrative role of the county commissioner?
For the administrative role, that is the area that I worked 21 to 23 as the county administrator, seeing behind the curtain and how things flow together behind the scenes to make the processes work for, or sometimes not so well for the citizens of our residents. Working with the budgets, for general government, I was over the purchase orders and expenses for the general government, and I also worked with the DA's office at that time and the Child Advocacy Center, how to make all of those work together on a tight budget that we had for the county at that time.
Thank you. Okay, so next one, we'll start with you, Chad. What is your opinion of those who appear to pursue careers as politicians?
Politicians, they have a very important role, and it's usually, to stand up for the people. And a lot of times, people get elected and they forget to do that. But it's such an important job that you don't forget that you're there for the people, you're there for the voters, you're there for the people that put you there. And that's the way, if elected, that's the way I'll be. I want to be there for the people. That's the whole reason I'm doing this thing. And like I said, politicians are that's why I love America, because we have the right to disagree and agree, and politicians are usually right there in the middle of it. So it's a very important part of the government, and sorry, I lost my train of thought, but it's very important, and I don't know why I decided to step into being, try to be in the political part of it, but I guess God led me here, and God keeps leading me here, so
Thank
that's what
you.
we'll do.
All right, Tanner, do you need me to read it again?
I think.
Okay.
Yeah. I don't have a problem with it as far as what their motives are behind it. I think if you come into it with the heart of helping the people and being there for your community, I think that's absolutely okay. I have no problem with career politician in that aspect. Yeah.
Okay, thank you. Angela?
For a career politician, I think as long as you do not lose sight of why you are there, you're there for the taxpayers, you're there for the residents, you're there for the people you serve. It is a servant role. And if you don't lose sight of that and you stay true to the people you represent, then go for it. When it becomes a self-gain or a self-interest, that's when I think that people need to step out of politics and let somebody who has a heart that's still in touch with the community to step in.
Thank you. Dell?
Well, I get that question a lot, obviously, because of the state. And what makes a career politician? What makes you go into a career? Is it your first year? Is it your second year? Your 10th year? What is it? And the reality is there such thing as a career politician in the fact that they're up for election every 2 years to 4 years or 6 years as a senator on the federal side? So really, is there such thing as a career politician? That would be the true question. Folks like to use those as gotcha questions or try to get in that. If you're doing the job of the people and answering to the people of which you serve, they're the ones that send you back. So is a career politician a 1-year politician, a 2-year politician, a 4-year elected official? What makes a career politician? So to answer that question, I don't think there is such thing as a career politician as long as they're doing the job that the people send them there to do.
Okay, thank you. All right, Tanner, we'll start with you next. What are your thoughts about working relationships with the city?
I think that is a big thing. We currently work a lot with a lot of the small towns for sure, like Maud and Asher and Earlsboro, and that's a very big thing for them. We come through, we do asphalt patching, help them with, like Maud right now is building a new barn for some equipment. We've helped them build a pad for their barn. City of Asher gets a grant every year to asphalt roads. We come in and do the work for them. That covers the material, and we do the work. So I think it is a huge thing for us to work with the cities and the schools in those cities.
Thank you. Angela?
I agree. We have to work together, whether it's with cities, whether it's with even among other counties, and definitely between the districts. The smaller towns lean a little bit more on the county help because they can't afford the equipment or they don't have the labor crew to do the asphalt patching and stuff like that. As far as larger cities like Shawnee, I think it's critical that the county works with the city of Shawnee. We have some items in Shawnee like Main Street that I think we should band together, and I think we should partner together because those could be sitting gold mines. And if those instances like that, if they are revitalized and they become an economic development forefront, then that in turn brings in more sales tax, which funnels down to our lower communities that can't quite fit that budget.
Thank you. Dell?
Repeat the question, please.
What are your thoughts about working relationships within the city?
Well, I think they're extremely important. I don't think they're just important for cities and the county, but I think they're also important for state and federal because all of those play into it. We all pay taxes to all 4 of those entities, so it's very important that we make sure those tax dollars are working. And when you can collectively put those 3 entities, 2 entities, whatever it is at the time together, and get them working in the same forward direction, outcomes are always better. So yes, for any municipality to be able to work with the county, the state, the federal, any of that is very important. Shawnee has a unique opportunity that none of the rest of the county does. That I-40 goes through the north side of it. And so, but the great part about that is while those folks are passing through there and spending their tax dollars, they're also paying county tax, which ultimately benefits every single one of us. And, you know, we are the only county in the state of Oklahoma that has the education tax, which is
Next time.
extremely important.
Thank you. Okay. Would you like to read
Yes.
the question? Okay. What are your thoughts about working relations within the city?
Well, they are very important. Like I say, I always go back to the city council thing in my hometown of Maud. I've seen and approved, grants and things that have come through from the county, and the county has helped us tremendously because, like I said, we are a small town. We got big city problems on a small town budget. If it wasn't for the county helping us very tremendously, some things just would not get done. And they're always there to help us no matter what it is. So the relationships you have with all towns that are in your county is very, very important because from the small towns like Maud to the big towns like Shawnee. You got to be willing and ready to stand up for all the people in the county, not just some, you know. And so it's so important that that you move forward and always keep the people in mind in your county.
Thank you. All right, Angela, this will be for you to start. Will you follow all purchasing guidelines required by state law, including those affecting the International Finals Youth Rodeo?
I will follow all purchasing guidelines and all purchasing laws, no matter what it relates to. Those are laws that cannot be bent. They are there for a reason. They are there to protect us as taxpayers, to make sure that our money goes to where it's supposed to go, whether it is to the IFYR, whether it is to pay for the utilities at the building. Those laws, the purchasing laws and the guidelines cannot be bent for anything. So yes, I will follow all purchasing guidelines.
Okay, thank you. Dell?
Well, I think that stands to reason. There's laws in place for a reason on the purchasing side. IFYR gets talked about a lot, and there's a lot of criticism sometimes on what people think. And I'm going to be the first to tell you, you want to criticize the IFYR, show up to the IFYR and volunteer. Put your public service, put your mouth where your public service mindset is and do something. Then you're going to find out about how these organizations and these IFYR and those organizations operate. It does get frustrating at times to see people that want to try to attack and go through, and they think they know. Get in there and get involved, and you're going to find out how things operate and how they work. To my knowledge, there's been no misappropriation of funds or any discreditation of that. If there was, we'd see it. Transparency is a real thing these days. It's not an illusion and it's not a buzzword.
Thank you.
Would you repeat the question?
Sure can. Will you follow all purchasing guidelines required by state law, including those affecting the International Finals Youth Rodeo?
Oh, of course. You got to follow all purchasing guidelines and all rules and laws, or even if you're elected official, if you don't follow those guidelines and those laws, that's the quickest way to find yourself inside a jail cell. And then who you're going to be helping? You're certainly not going to be helping the people. So those laws and guidelines and things are in place for a reason. And it don't matter if it's IFYR or whoever it is, the guidelines have got to be followed to a T. You got to make sure your paperwork's in line. You got to you have to make sure they're following, and that's just the plain and simple truth.
Thank you.
Absolutely, I follow all rules, whether it's with the IFYR, whether it's with the 6-month bids, whether it's with purchasing, no matter what it is. Yeah, you got to follow the rules on that.
Okay. All right, Dell, we're going to go back to you. There are ongoing efforts to eliminate property tax on homesteads in Oklahoma, which would severely impact county tax revenue. Do you support these measures, and if passed, would you suggest the county fund currently provided government and services? Or how would you suggest they would fund? Sorry.
Well, I probably have a pretty good perspective on that, being that serving as a state representative. There are several ad valorem questions that came up this year. Some are well thought out. There's freezing of the 65 and over, which would do nothing but stabilize and tell government to work within the means of which the revenue of which they collect. There's also discussions of bills that were moved that would move down the ad valorem percentages that could be increased annually. There's also one that talks about doing away with all ad valorem on homestead exemption. I'm just going to be honest, that's an extremely dangerous one. Not so much for the county as much as it is for our schools. It's an $18 million hit just to Pottawatomie County K-12 schools. And so it has to be made up somewhere because schools still have to function. And so while an example, and I know I'm going to go over a little bit, and I apologize, but that's an extremely important thing that's coming up on the ballot. That $18 million has to be spread and covered somewhere. So out of homestead exemption, it gets covered somewhere else. So apologize for going over, but I think that's important to talk about.
We'll just take 30 seconds out of your next question. All right. All right. You
Go
want
ahead.
to reread it? Okay. There are ongoing efforts to eliminate property tax on homesteads in Oklahoma, which would severely impact county tax revenue. And do you support these measures? And if passed, how would you suggest the county fund currently provided government and services?
Well, that's great, and I know my property taxes have been up over the last 4 years, and doing away with a homestead tax or something, it sounds good but doesn't work. You have to have those resources for the county, but more importantly, they take it away, they're just going to add something somewhere down the line. So the best thing to do is be to lower the rates where people can afford it better, and that way it's not so high, because taking it away I just don't think is the answer.
Okay. Thank you. Dan?
Yeah, I agree. I don't think taking it away is the answer. You got to fund schools. If they take it away, you're going to be paying it somewhere else. I mean, you're not going to be saving. So I don't think that is the answer for sure, to do away with that.
Okay. Angela?
I would eventually like to see some forgiveness, at least for the homestead exempted properties. To offset that, I would think that we should take a look at, our state legislators should take a look at our state budget. We just passed the largest state budget in the history of Oklahoma. There are some entities in our state that have not been very forthcoming with their expenses and how they have been budgeting and have lost millions of dollars. And those things, if we look at those as a state, then that's money that could go towards offsetting property taxes at some point. But we'd have to take a look at the state budget first and cut overspending and lost money that's at the state level and let it funnel down to our communities.
Thank you. Okay, Chad, we're going to start with you on this one. What is the hardest truth facing this county that politicians avoid discussing?
Oh, the hardest truth. I feel like the hardest truth is people forget where they come from. People forget who voted for them, and people forget who put them in office, because it's you people all out there, it's the voters. This ain't like a job where you just go and the best man or the best man for the job gets it. It's the people's voice. It's the people's concern. That's the ground level right there. That's how you get in office, and you can't just forget where you come from. You got to be there. You got to be for your community. That's why, a lot of times I always do stuff for my little community. I'll say "Mod proud," because I'm proud of my community, and I have never forgotten the people. If somebody wants something put on the agenda, then I'll put it on there, and most of the time they don't show up, but I still put it on there anyway. And we'll talk about it, we'll discuss it, because I haven't forgot where I came from. I know where I came from every single day.
Thank you, Chad. You want to read a bit? What is the hardest truth facing this county that politicians avoid discussing?
Well, I think maybe the tax situations. I think people, that's something they don't want to talk about. It's big on the constituents' minds, and I think a lot of politicians want to shy away from that. So I think that would probably be the biggest thing they shy away from.
Okay, Angela?
I think the hardest situation, working at District 2, and then up at the county government when I was up there, is a lot of it's communication. People don't like to have those difficult conversations. You get a call and somebody's angry. You don't want to sit down and show the records of how supplies have gone up exponentially, while there's a lot of months where there's not a lot of revenue to cover barely even maintenance. And it's hard to have those difficult conversations with residents and potentially cause tension. But you have to communicate. And I don't think, as in our community, if we have open communication, I don't really think there's any topic that should be that hard.
Okay, and Dell?
Poverty. Poverty is one of the largest factors in our county. The challenges are quality jobs and economic development. We have a lot of challenges there. When we see 16,000 just in the Shawnee area alone on the north side of the county, we see 16,000 folks that drive to the city to go get a job. And then we have another 14,000 that come to us to work. So we start working on more economic development throughout our county in different locations and be able to bring more quality jobs. Then you bring the scale of pay up, which ultimately brings the quality of life up, which then in turn allows for our population to grow and expand the way it wants to be and needs to be, and works in conjunction. Then you don't have to worry about the assessor or somebody trying to increase your ad valorem or your taxes, because you've spread that tax increase across the base, and that way you have the dollars to do what you need to do. So yeah, poverty is one of the things that a lot of people don't want to talk about in our community.
Thank you. All right. Tanner, this one's going to start with you. What do you know about the current financial condition of your district? For example, the amount currently in all the accounts, current expenses, current payroll, et cetera.
Okay. I don't know exactly. I've not seen the accounts. What I do know is Abby has done a great job with getting grants, getting the money. We've got great equipment. So I would assume that the financial situation is pretty good. Like I said, I worked there in the past under other commissioners, and they've done a great job as well. But the condition of the equipment and things that we have, and the asphalt equipment and the things that we've upgraded and are able to do on our own now has been great. So I'm sure the funding is just fine.
Okay, thank you. Angela?
I began submitting information requests for the District 3 account balances and expenses probably about a year ago, when I started wondering why those of us that are in the southern part of the district weren't getting road maintenance consistently and regularly, if at all. At that time, the accounts were pretty slim. There was a lot of expenses going out, particularly the sales tax accounts that did not relate to road and bridge maintenance. I did get the last information on Tuesday, and the accounts are in better shape. I know there's been some things that have been sold, and there's a lot of extra spending that has been cut. So the accounts are coming back up slowly, but I think they can get there.
Okay, thank you. Del?
I appreciate the question. Money is always a challenge, and the county is no different. As they go through, if you look at the collectiveness of the county as a whole, it looks like it, and it seems like it's really healthy. But the reality is you have to have several folks that are out there in all these districts, including District 3. And there's a lot of road miles that need to be taken care of. So those challenges between use tax that can't be used for certain things and can be used for other things, then your baselines of your ad valorem that comes in that can be used for certain things and can't be used for certain things. So when you start talking about a population of 70,000 in the entire county, and you start looking at everything, we have a lot of rural areas. So your ad valorem base is pretty minimal, which is fine because we like rural communities. The challenge is then how do you diversify, because the rocks don't get any cheaper, the fuel in the trucks don't get any cheaper, and the equipment definitely does not get any cheaper. So those challenges continue to play every day on those finances.
Okay, thank you.
Go ahead.
Reread it. What do you know about the current financial condition of your district? For example, the currently amount in all the accounts, current expenses, current payroll, et cetera.
Well, I may not know the current budget or whatnot, but for the last year, I have been reading the commissioner minutes that have been posted, and they seem to be keeping the lights on, and I've seen the equipment around the barn and the trucks they drive and stuff, so it's obviously they're in good shape. But there's always room for improvement on that aspect of it, because you got to stay on top of your budget, and you got to make sure that not only are you on top of your budget, but you got to make sure the stuff's being taken care of in the right ways, in the right areas. But so, yeah, I guess I'll just leave it at that.
All right.
Yeah.
I think we're down to our last two questions. I'm sure you guys will be relieved to hear that. We're going to start with Angela for this one. Citizen and voter apathy is a chronic problem. Many elected officials only appear interested in the public's opinions at election time. How do you intend to keep the citizens of your district informed and engaged if elected?
If elected, we started something this last Sunday is called Porch Talks. These are things that I want to continue. If I'm elected, I want to continue door knocking, as crazy as it sounds, and as many dog alarms as I set off. I have enjoyed that. Getting to talk to the people one-on-one in their comfort zone, you find out a lot more, and it keeps you from having to get that call, somebody who's irate and who their roads are washboarded, or economic development gave a grant to somebody that they don't like. If you keep engaging with the people one-on-one and keep communicating with the people one-on-one in their territory where they are comfortable, then I think we will increase voter turnout and voter engagement.
Okay, thank you. Del?
It's always important to stay in communication and be able to communicate with everybody. My information is out there for everybody, and my cell phone is out on everything that has went out. Most people know I own the Coney Island, just recently bought Paul's Place. There's the shameless plugs, but it's not hard to find me. The way I tell people all the time is if you've got a problem with something I've done, pick up the phone and call me. If you don't have my phone number and my cell number, then you don't know me well enough to have a problem with me.
Chad, do you want me to reread? Yeah. Citizen and voter apathy is a chronic problem. Many elected officials only appear interested in the public's opinions at election time. How do you intend to keep the citizens of your district informed and engaged if elected?
Well, if elected, I'm going to be one of the most accessible county commissioners that the county has ever seen. Being on city council, I've dealt with a lot of angry people. And, I know how it goes. And once you start talking to them, you hear their problems and things. If you just let them talk, they usually calm down, But if you don't let them talk and you ignore them, you don't listen to what they have to say, then they're going to come at you like a angry mob with a bunch of pitchforks. But like I said, I want to be the most accessible. When you call and you have a complaint or something like that, I'm going to be at your door knocking on it, and I'm going to be there to listen. And listening to ideas and things also, it's not that hard. It's really not, because at the end of the day, the voters still put you there. They're still your boss. So that's who I work for, is the voters that put me there.
Okay. Tanner?
I'm going to be very accessible. I live a block from the county barn. I'm going to be there every day planning. I'm going to be there taking the calls, be right there every day. I don't want to delay anything that's been called in complaint-wise. I don't want to be months, people having to wait for something. I want to be with the road foreman right there at your door, finding out what your complaint is. I love this job. I love what I do, and I love taking care of the community that we work in. And so I'm going to be there every day and be accessible.
Thank you. All right, and for the last question, we'll start with you, Del. What can county commissioners do to ensure that the county jail is running in a manner that respects constitutional rights and is accountable for deaths of inmates?
Well, I appreciate that question. We have a unique perspective here. The county jail is actually run by a trust, which is one of the smartest things that the previous commissioners have done. When the county jail was moved over to a trust, it has an independent board that looks after it. It's funded properly. It works for the people. And so by the trust jail that we have a luxury of, it really works and functions well. And if you have those kind of concerns, that's the great part about it. They have a trust board that you take up those concerns and those questions with, and that would probably be a question more suited to that trust board.
Okay, thank you. Chad?
Go ahead.
What can county commissioners do to ensure that the county jail is running in a manner that respects constitutional rights and is accountable for deaths of inmates?
Well, I guess the biggest thing you could do is get your reports right, making sure everything is working right, and visit the jail, go inside. I may or may not have been a resident once or twice in there. I'm ashamed. I'm not ashamed to say, but, that's part of my story, and that's part of my journey that got me here. And praise the Lord that behavior is done. But like I said, you got to make sure the constitutional rights of even prisoners are being taken care of, and make sure that all the laws and stuff are guidelines are going like they're supposed to. So, at the end of the day, you got to be held accountable. If it's the county commissioner or what it is for the laws. So.
Okay. Thank you. Tanner?
With there being a trust in place, I still think you should still go in, see what's going on, have some type of oversight over that committee, and hold them accountable for the deaths of the inmates. I mean, you got to take care of that.
Okay. Short and sweet.
I think as the county commissioner, we do have the jail trust, which is the ultimate oversight of our jail. But the commissioner should keep a good, strong relationship and constant communication with the jail trust members, and also the jail director. She's a phenomenal woman, and she does her best every day to run sometimes a very difficult situation. But if you have an open relationship, then you can not only go to her or the jail trust and ask questions, but it's also vice versa. If there's a way that the county can help, then they're relaxed enough to say, hey, can we have an issue? But I also agree that you should get regular reports on the status of the jail and the inmates there.
Okay, well, that concludes the questions, so we will go into the final statements, and I will do the reverse order for the final one. So, Angela, you will get to go first.
The outro. Thank you guys again for everybody that came out tonight. Thank you to everyone who took time out of their schedule at home to check in and watch, and thank you to all of the volunteers. You guys are phenomenal in coming out on a night like this. This election cycle it seems to be a little bit different. It seems a little bit more tense and heated. Those who have had voices and asked questions in the past are a little bit louder now, and those who have typically hid in the shadows and kind of grumbled, they're finding their voice. So I appreciate you for asking questions when we come to your door, asking the hard questions, be engaged, but show up on June 16th, please, because this is critical. That's a very critical day. Thank you.
Thank you. Tanner?
Thank you again to PAVE and everybody that's put this on. Thank you to all y'all for being here. I know it's a blah day and everybody's probably on the eve of heading out for Memorial Weekend, but thank y'all for taking the time to learn about us. I do think it is a very important time in this election cycle. I think that with my experience that I have, I would like to have everybody come out June 16th and support me. I could use your vote. Thank you.
Thank you. Chad?
Well, I'd like to thank PAVE and all the volunteers that have put this on today, and again for the invitation to even be here. I'm kind of flabbergasted to even being sitting up here and talking to you people, but most of all, thank y'all for coming out and listening to us. There's so many other things you could be doing, but y'all chose to come out here and be a part of democracy, and that's always important. That's an important thing. That's the reason I wanted to run for this, is because I wanted to run and stand up for the people for once, not just being run over and things. The election process is such an important part of America. It gives people their voice, it gives people their right, and it also gives them the right to gripe. If you don't vote, then you don't have a right to gripe, in my opinion. So y'all come out June 16th. Vote for me is a vote for y'all. Vote for the regular people of the county. Now, I'm an outsider. Used to be an outlaw. Now I'm trying to be a politician. So y'all have a great night.
Thank you, Chad. All right. Dell, you get the final word.
I think there may be a song about that, Chad.
It probably is.
No, again, appreciate PAVE for doing this and know what it takes to do this. And everybody that was here tonight and that's online watching, submitting your questions and letting us have an opportunity to answer your questions and your concerns. If you have any more questions, I know reach out to me or reach out to any of the other candidates that are sitting up here and ask your questions. That's how you get answers, and that's how you get, to understand who you're voting for. I'm excited about where the county's moving and how things are going forward, and this election cycle is a very important election cycle for many seats that are up on the election ballot, from the full statewide, federal side, all the way down. It's an important time. And never forget that that is your voice on June 16th. That is your voice to make a vote. And I would appreciate if you would vote for me in the affirmative on there, but it's always great to partake in these debates.
All right. Thank you again, candidates, for coming. We will take a short break to get the next group of candidates up here, and I do want to remind everybody, not only do we have primaries on the 16th, but there is a state question as well, so there's something for everyone. So I highly encourage everyone to get to the ballot box on June 16th. So yeah, just give us a couple of minutes. Go. All right, and just as a reminder for the new candidates, make sure that you understand how our tracking signal system works. The light will turn yellow when you have 30 seconds, and it will turn red when your time has expired. You will have 2 minutes for opening comments, 1 minute for answering questions, and 1 minute for closing comments. Then we should be able to get started. And Phil won the straw, so you get to go first with your opening comments, sir.
Good evening, and thank you to PAVE for hosting this forum tonight. Thank you to everyone that came out on this nice day. Kind of gloomy outside tonight. Glad everybody got here safely. My name is Phil Solinger, and I'm running for Potawatomi County Commissioner, District 1, because I believe the county deserves leadership that is present and accountable, that will listen to the people who live here every day. I'm not a career politician, by no means. I'm a businessman, a worker, a landowner, a constituent who understands the challenges of facing the community, from the roads to infrastructure to the responsibility of growth, physical accountability, and restoring trust in local government. Over the past several months, I've spent a great deal of time visiting with residents across District 1 and reviewing county operational audits, financial reports, and historical records, because I believe good government starts with understanding where we came from and where we're going. What I continue to hear from people, simply they want transparency, they want communication, they want leadership that show up. This campaign is not about a political party or a personal agenda. It's about people of Potawatomi County. It's about making sure taxpayers feel heard and respected. It's about making decisions in the open and asking hard questions when necessary, and ensuring government, county government, works for the citizens and not the other way around. I believe we can move our county forward in a positive, professional way by focusing on the infrastructure, public safety, physical responsibility, and long-term planning. That's the benefit future of generation. Most importantly, I believe leadership starts with accessibility. If elected, I will become commissioner who listens and communicates.
There you go. Thank you. All right. Thank you, Phil. Melissa?
Good afternoon. Thank you, PAVE and volunteers, for putting this on. And I would like to say, give my condolences to Gloria Trotter. She actually interviewed me, was the first person to interview me, and it was called Bridges and Bling. So she interviewed me back in 2011. So I hate that, but she was a great person. But I am Melissa Dennis. I am your current county commissioner. Mr. Solinger is right. This is about you. It's about the people. It's about transparency. It's about accountability. It's about everything he just said. That is, he's right. So I have done this since 2011. We have made major improvements in this county. We work very well with the city, but about me, I want another 4 years. There's a lot of things that we have not done yet that we want to do, and so I ask for your vote on June 16th.
Thank you, and we will once again start with Phil with the first question. What do you know about the current financial condition of your district? For example, the amount currently in all of the accounts, current expenses, current payroll, et cetera.
I do not know the amount that's in the accounts currently. We are still, the boat's still afloat, but there are some troubling things that I found over the past 2 years. I just see things that we're not allowed to talk about tonight.
Okay. Melissa?
Well, I hate that, because if he had picked up the phone, he may have found out something. But I can tell you exactly how much is in each of our accounts. I can tell him how much is in each of our accounts if he'd like to come down there. There's probably about $2 million in our sales tax account. Our highway, when I call our highway account, it is our normal highway money that we get from the state. There's not a lot of money in those accounts because we don't get a lot of money. the main money we receive is from our sales tax money. And as a county commissioner, each district receives approximately about not each district, I'm sorry, Highway receives about $6 million a year from this 1 cent sales tax. And we split that 3 ways, so therefore each county commissioner gets approximately $3 million. Those are approximates, but I'd be more than happy to give you all the numbers. Just come on and ask me.
It's a little hot in the seat right now. All right, so we'll start with you, Melissa. Do you plan to move the fairgrounds?
I am so glad that question was asked. I knew it would be, and I'm so glad it was. I have no plans to move the fairgrounds. We bought some property out south of town, and all of a sudden, we were going to move the fairgrounds. I think that came from Commissioner Rush mentioning the fact that he would like to clear out a spot to maybe hold the county fair so they wouldn't be digging holes in the asphalt in the parking lot. That's never been put through a commissioner meeting. We have never said that. The city owns the expo, so we have never had any talks about moving the fairgrounds. That is a rumor, and I'm so glad that was asked.
Thank you. Phil, do you plan to move the fairgrounds?
No, I don't believe I'd want to move the fairgrounds, nor would I want to move the youth rodeo. Yes, there's a lot of people talking about it, and I've heard the same thing. It would not be a very financial good move for Shawnee or Potawatomi County. So no, I would not move the fairgrounds.
Okay, thank you. Then we'll say, back to Phil. What is the hardest truth facing this county that politicians avoid discussing?
The truth. That's it, the truth. I mean, there's a lot of problems with politicians that get out there and just say what you want them to. They want you to hear what you want us to hear. And they need to know the true facts. They need to know exactly what's going on. That's it.
Melissa?
I think the hardest conversations to have is mental health. We have a lot of mental health issues in this county, and that is the truth. And we have a lot, the tax, the ad valorem tax being taken away. Those are questions and conversations that county commissioners need to be involved, county officials need to be involved in at the state level, because there's a lot of state officials who have no idea how county government works. Sorry, Dale, but they don't, and they're making decisions that's going to affect you, and we will get the blame for it, and it's going to affect all of us. So mental health is a major problem in this county.
Okay, thank you. All right, we'll start with you, Melissa. Should county officials face term limits? Why or why not?
You know, the state did term limits several years ago, and I hated it then, and no, I don't like it now. I think you guys set our term limits. If we're doing our job, if we're being honest, telling the truth, showing you our finances, being transparent, and if we're doing our job, you determine our term limits. And so, no, I don't agree with term limits. County government is very complex. I think anybody that's in county government can tell you in the first 4 years, you're drinking water through a fire hose. And so 4 years doesn't give you enough time to even get your feet under you. But no, I don't like term limits. I think the people need to determine our term limits.
Okay, thank you. Phil?
I believe there should be term limits. I don't think we should have somebody in as a county commissioner for 20 years. I think it should be capped at 8 years. It's not the best paying job in the city or the state, in the county. You have to have a reason to be here. And my whole goal of being here is for transparency for the people. I don't want the job. I'm going to do the job because I've been asked by so many people and so many constituents to be here tonight.
Thank you. Okay, Phil, we'll start with you again. There are ongoing efforts to eliminate property tax on homesteads in Oklahoma, which would severely impact county tax revenue. Do you support these measures, and if passed, how would you suggest the county fund currently provided government and services?
I don't think it's a good idea to eliminate ad valorem tax at all. But I do think once a person reaches a certain age, whether it be 65, 70, 75, whatever it is, I think there should be grace for them on the ad valorem tax and other taxes as well.
Thank you. Melissa?
Say that one more time.
There are ongoing efforts to eliminate property tax on homesteads in Oklahoma, which would severely impact county tax revenue. Do you support these measures, and if passed, how would you suggest the county fund currently provided government and services?
Okay, so who doesn't want to pay, not want to pay property taxes, right? That would make it great for all of us, including myself. I look out for my mom a lot. That would help my mother. But sitting on this side of that desk, I know exactly how it would affect county government. And we would have to tighten our belt strap. Hopefully the state would have a plan for us, but we don't bank on that. So what we do, we'll have to tighten our belt strap. Fortunately, this county has a use tax, and we use that use tax to benefit the community projects, community entities. We would probably have to stop doing some of that and use that money to supplement our budget. I hate that, but we would have to.
Okay, thank you. Okay, Melissa, we'll start with you again. What do you bring to the table in regards to the administrative role of county commissioner?
Well, I started out at the county clerk's office in 1994. Thank you, Rachel Flewellen. And I worked there for approximately 10 years, I think so. And then I went to the state government, and I worked for the state auditor and inspector's office. After that, I came back to be the road and bridge coordinator. So I know how county government works inside and out. And I think that's one reason why I'm attacked a lot, is because I know kind of what's going on. I know how it should operate. And so, and I've been here, I've been here since 2011. And so I bring a lot to the table as far as knowing what to do and what's going on.
Okay, thank you. Phil?
Well, I'll be the first one to tell you, the accounting side of it, I'd be in a little bit of problem there, but we have people to fill those spots as well. As far as the job management, I've been in management for years and years. I started my own company back in 2001. Been very successful with it. Also, every place I've ever worked, I've climbed a ladder, whether it be Lucent Technology or anywhere I've ever worked. So I've been a proven leader from Mayor McLeod. Produced the park there and just many, many things I've done over the years.
Thank you. Okay, we'll start with you again. What can county commissioners do to ensure that the county jail is running in a manner that respects constitutional rights and is accountable for deaths of inmates?
Well, again, I do know we do have a board over the jail, and we have a very good sheriff, which monitors everything that goes on at the jail. How can we as county commissioners make sure they have the funding that they need to keep the proper people in place?
Okay, thank you. Melissa?
I kind of go back to what Angela said earlier. You just communicate with the jail. The jail director, she is a great person. She has been the best thing for that jail since 2003 when it was built. And I was here when it was built. And so, and they've had a lot of problems. But you know what? They get a portion of the 1 cent sales tax, and they use that to make their payroll. And so they are in good hands right now. But we communicate, they have a board, we actually appoint the board members, and so we take their recommendations, basically. But if there's a problem, if we're going to be on the news, Channel 4, 5, or 9, 25, whatever, she is the first person who picks up the phone and calls each one of us commissioners and lets us know. So there's a lot of communication between the commissioners and the jail, but we do not oversee it.
All right, Melissa, we'll start with you on this one. What do you know about the expenditure of almost $3.5 million to purchase 63 acres at Benton Park Road and 177 that appears to have no specific plans for its use?
What do I know about it? I know everything there is to know about it. I was voted yes. So we purchased that property with the intentions of building a new health department. We have got to build a new health department. And so we wanted to move our emergency management to a bigger area. And we were hoping to get a $1 million grant for our emergency management. And we did not get that. So when this property came available, it was the perfect opportunity, and I can't tell you a whole lot of what we said in executive session, but that was the intent, was to find a place to build our health department, move our emergency management, and hopefully the OSU Extension Center, who is busting at the seams with these 4-H kids and all the programs they put on, they have got to have a new place too. So there's a lot of things that was bought for.
Okay, thank you. Do you need me to repeat the question?
Yes.
All right. What do you know about the expenditure of almost $3.5 million to purchase the 63 acres at Benson Park Road and 177 with no specific plans for its use?
Well, I was there at the county commissioners meeting that day, and I do remember that they were talking at that time about a health facility and possibly moving the county barn there, and like you said, emergency management and what have you. But I also have heard that the other intent was to move the youth rodeo there. Now, I don't know, I mean, that was not talked about there at that meeting, so I missed a couple meetings in this last year.
Okay. All right, Phil, we'll start with you on this next one. What are your thoughts about working relations with the city?
That's very important. I mean, Shawnee and Potawatomi County, they have to be, it's like a marriage. They just have to be together, and they just got to take care of each other. Back to the rodeo. That entity out at the Expo Center has been there for 40 years plus, and it brings a lot of money into Potawatomi County as taxes, and also for the city taxes, somewhere around $6 million for the youth rodeo, and it's very important for that.
Okay. Thank you. Melissa?
I think working with the city is very important. In order to make, if the city grows, the county grows. And if you can't help the city, and I will tell you, when I first came into office in 2011, Brian McDougall was here. He is actually the first city manager who came up to me and said, let's do a project together. I mean, I was in office maybe a week. And so we did that. And there hasn't been that good communication before. My gosh, is it already yellow? It hasn't been that good communication before then. The commissioners previously did not work with the city, but Eddie and Randy and myself, we built that bridge, and we worked very well with the city. We worked very well with all the cities, and we even work well with the schools. If you can't be a team, your community will not prosper.
That's true. Okay, thank you. All right. Melissa, we'll start with this one.
Okay.
For you. Citizen and voter apathy is a chronic problem. Many elected officials only appear interested in the public's opinions at election time. How do you intend to keep the citizens of your district informed and engaged if elected?
Well, I talk to a lot of my constituents every single day because of the fact that my rule of thumb is up at the office and out at the barn. If there's a constituent that calls this office, you give them my cell number. The people who know me call me on my cell. But if it's a person who hasn't called up there, I talk to every constituent that has an issue, and I think a lot of them will tell you that. As far as telling everybody what they want to hear, I don't think I have that reputation at all. And so whether it's election time, whether it's your first year in office, your 16th year in office, you know, you can tell those people. You can tell the ones who tell you what you want to hear.
Read it again.
Citizen and voter apathy is a chronic problem. Many elected officials only appear interested in the public's opinions at election time. How do you intend to keep the citizens of your district informed and engaged if elected?
Well, if elected, I would definitely be open door. I'm not going to stop knocking doors. I've been doing it for 3 months, and I've talked to thousands of people. And one of the things I was told several times, I said, do you know who your county commissioner is? I don't have no idea. I said, never knocked your door or called you? No. Have you had problems? I have. Why didn't you get it fixed? I got many calls in, but never got any replies.
That was yellow, if you wanted to still say a few things.
I just, I think getting out there and talking to the people, getting to know who the people are, becoming close to them. I met a man just the other day, never met him in my life, and he told me he'd be here tonight, and he is. And he wants a change. He wants something tangible change.
Thank you. And we'll start with you again, Phil. Which county department is least efficient, and how would you fix it?
I would say, and it's not the foreman's fault, and I'm not saying it's Melissa's fault, but the one that I see a very bad problem with is the roads. The roads can be built a lot better. The potholes need to be fixed before you resurface your road. I've been doing this for many, many, many years. That's what I did in the Navy, was build roads and bridges. And there's just product that you can put into this to make it a lot better. I think the roads is probably the worst part of this going on right now.
Okay, thank you. Melissa?
Read that question again.
Which county department is least efficient, and how would you fix it?
Oh, which county department? Okay, well, first of all, I brought a plaque with me. It's out there in the lobby, that I got a plaque about my roads, an award for some asphalt roads. I hate that you feel that it's just District 1, but actually there is no office at that county that's inefficient. And those elected officials, our elected officials, we all work together very well. There's not one office that we can do without. I mean, I really hate that you feel that way, but there's not one office in the county that you can do without. We all work well together, and they're all efficient, every one of them.
Okay. So we'll start with you again, Melissa. Cleanup events have been wildly popular. What are your plans to expand and further publicize these? Is there dumpster availability at county barns all the time, or would you try to add that?
Well, we try to do 2 cleanups a year, a spring and a fall. I have to get a drink. A spring and a fall. And they started out as they were really, I mean, I had 17 dumpsters when we first started it. This last time we had about 11. But we continue to do that. If there is a problem getting the advertisement out there, then we need to look into that. But that cleanup has been a good thing that we did. I think Eddie started that when he was here, and you know, it has helped with the illegal trash dumping, which, you know, back to the previous question about things that are hard to talk about, there's so much illegal trash dumping. But it has been better in my district, I can't speak for the others, since we have started the dumpster cleanup. I would like to see them put in each city, but you got to find property to put them on.
Thank you.
I have to agree with what Melissa said. I believe that I haven't heard that much about the cleanups not being successful. I think you just continuing as we're going, but I think getting the word out that there is a city cleanup going on, spring or fall, whichever it is, and we need to get the trash picked up.
Okay, thank you. All right, and Phil, we'll start with you on this one. If you were to win this election, would you create a policy for stronger financial reporting from entities outside Pot County who receive tax dollars?
Let's read that again.
If you were to win this election, would you create a policy for stronger financial reporting from entities outside Pot County who receive tax dollars?
I don't believe we'd have any jurisdiction of anybody outside Potawatomi County unless they're dealing with Potawatomi County. Is that what you're?
I'm assuming that's what they're inferring.
Well, if we're using them as a contractor, whatever, we need to make sure that everything is by the book.
Thank you. Melissa?
I think that may have meant maybe outside of the county spending. That's what I'm going to assume
That's
it
fine.
meant.
Answer that if you need to.
Absolutely. And you know, I'll be the first to admit that our economic development money, we really didn't have a good, strong policy at one time. We knew what we could do, and we knew kind of what we needed to show proof of all that. But as far as following up on that, I'll admit, we probably haven't been the best at that. We have just developed a policy, so that's already actually in place. So, yes, we should have had stronger ones, so we put that into place. But you got to remember, too, anything we do goes through a process. We go through the county clerk's office. It gets issued a number. Then we do it. Then we have an invoice. Then we turn it in to pay. They check it. So everything goes through a very strong process before we actually spend the money.
Okay, thank you. All right, Melissa, we'll start with you again. That
Okay.
kind of ties in a little bit. How do you define successful economic development beyond bringing jobs?
Well, with the big sales tax, the 1 cent sales tax, and that is actually our biggest revenue source. Retail is big to me. Restaurants are big to me. But I will tell you, economic development is so more than retail. It's so more than bringing jobs. It's a quality of life. Who wants to move here if you've got the highest sexual predator count? It's a quality of life. I love the fact that we did the Winter Wonderland on Main Street. I think there's so many things that we could do, and we are losing out because with our I-40 corridor. We have missed the boat on a lot of things, but it's so much more than in bringing jobs, but you've got to start somewhere. I'm just partial to retail, and I'm partial to Home Depot coming and all that because it funds us.
Gotcha, thank you. Phil?
I'm going to have to agree with everything she said. And Home Depot's a good place to shop. So, ditto.
Okay. I think we'll be down to our last two questions. Okay. And Phil, we'll start with you. What is the most important issue facing the county district you seek to represent, and what are your ideas to solve it?
The biggest problem I've been encountered with while out door knocking and talking to the constituents is transparency, accountability, and the people just want us out there to talk to them and find out what their problems is. The roads, again, the drainage problems, it always comes back to the same thing. We just need to get out and get it done.
All right, Melissa?
Well, there's so much more to the districts than road and bridges. And I will say that I'm working on this now. We don't have the best patch machine. We don't have the best patches. I have complained about our patches for years. But, you know, the guys that I have that work for me are the best group of guys around. And it's just a matter of educating them and teaching them, and that is what we are actually working on now. So there's always room for improvement. And if you think you can come into this position and make everything great, you got another thing coming.
All right. Okay, last question. We'll start with you, Melissa. What reforms, if any, should be made to county law enforcement oversight?
What reforms should be made to county law enforcement oversight? Electing the sheriff, Mr. Freeland Wood, was the best thing for this county. And I don't have to oversight his stuff. He turns in an estimate of needs on his budget. We ask questions, and we should, and we do. But as far as an oversight of how he spends his money, that's what he puts into us at the beginning of the budget year. And I don't have to oversight the sheriff, and I don't think the commissioner should oversight the sheriff. I think that the people elected the sheriff, and he's doing a great job, which helps us because we don't have to oversight the sheriff.
Thank you. Phil?
I totally agree. I know that the sheriff, I've known the sheriff for quite a while. He handles the sheriff's department a lot better than most of the sheriffs we've ever had. I know he manages his money well. I know he manages people well. I don't think there needs to be any more oversight.
Okay.
He's an elected official.
All right. And that concludes the question portion of this. I'll let you do your closing statements. Melissa, you get to go first.
All right. Well, like I said, I am your current county commissioner, and I'd love to have your vote. I am passionate about this job, and I know at election time, it's tough. You better be thick-skinned, and I'm very thick-skinned. I've had another opponent in the past. It was never like it is now, but that's okay. My record speaks for itself. What I've done in this county, what I have worked with other elected officials and other people to do in this county speaks for itself. I have always said, I'll stay here as long as the people want me. If the people don't want me, that's fine. I mean, it's your voice. It is your voice. And I said I would always stay if they wanted me. So vote on June 16th.
Thank you. Phil?
Well, I want to thank everybody for being here tonight. Again, my name's Phil Solinger. I'm up for County Commissioner District 1. I see a lot of things that can be changed, made just a little better, and some things a lot better. Through the years of experience, I've seen tricks of the trade that can make the roads a lot better and a lot safer. We have some roads out there that are treacherous. You'll see some videos coming online that show some of our roads that I personally videoed and talk about the roads. With the help we could have got from the commissioner, we could have fixed those roads before somebody gets killed. I vote for June 16th for Phil Solinger. Thank you very much.
All right. And that concludes the forum. Thank you, candidates.
Thank you.